Hey everyone, so something a bit different today. I've got some dies that I'm playing around with. However, you don't need dies to make similar cards to what I'm doing. I just thought it's more about finishing off your cards and the little details. I'm going to add some ribbons and just make 4 pretty cards. So if you've got nesting dies, mats and layers, these are like mixed shapes layered up. Now, the particular dies I'm using are part of a new release from Creative Craft Products, which is called Lines and Curves. You'll see all that through the video. But I'm sure lots of you have got things very similar in your stash already. If you're new to card making, things like this, these are like basics. They're decorative basics, really nice things to have in your stash as well. So I'm going to get right into it. This is the first one, and it's a 6x6. It's called a retro die set. But you can see here, you've got all these mats and layers. You've got the large decorative frame here. Then you've got simple square, then you've got this decorative circle, and then the simple circle to layer on top of that. So you can see I've just popped them all together there, and you can see the pattern on the packaging. Each one has a sentiment. This one's got love you lots, and then you've also got this plate here which will cut these 4 corners. So I've cut everything, and I'm going to use white card through all these samples, but I'm going to add pops of colour with my decoration, ribbon, embellishments and things like that. And I will stick them all onto the card blanks at the very end. So that's the first one. So you can see how it cuts out. And then what I've done with the plain circle is just cut this one. And I've used the poppy, which is part of the floral calendar. I'm going to do a separate tutorial using the poppy because I do want a separate video for each of these calendar florals. But you also get to see it in this one as well. And then I'm going to do a little bit of decoupage with this one and then add some ribbon. Then I've got the circle there, but between each layer, and I think what really kind of works with these kind of layering cards is adding the foam. Now it is optional if you're posting this or you don't want anything 2-dimensional, then you can just skip the foam and just use your glue, or you might just want to add foam to maybe one bit and then stick the rest down flat, but I'm going to have every layer lifted up. So pop that one down, and then I'm just going to add some more foam to the back of this one. And then take the simple square there, sit this one down in the middle, and then again add the foam onto that one, and then place that one down there. So you'll see already that looks lovely on its own. By adding the foam in between each layer, you just get that drop shadow, and it just really shows off all of the detail there. Then to decorate the flower here, I've just stamped it 3 times. So one onto the circle, then I stamped it again, but just coloured this portion and cut it out. And then I've stamped it again and just coloured that very front petal and cut that one out. I did do a separate video on this. If you're just finding me and you like this effect, I have got a video on DIY decoupage, which is what this is. It's a really nice technique. It gives a lovely effect and finish to like a stamped image, and you can pretty much do it on any stamped image, as long as there's like a foreground and a background. So that petal, for example, is in the foreground, and then you've got this in the background. As long as it's like that, and then just pop some foam on the back, and you just layer it back over the design. And then that one. So just really simple, but it just takes a flat image and just gives it that dimension. I think it's really, really pretty. These ones here, I think I'm just going to, I was going to cut them using some foam. In fact, I still might do that. I think I'm going to recut these. They are small enough that I could cut them, that plate, I could cut them even using these little squares here. If I positioned it like so, I reckon I could, yeah, have each one within the square. Let's try it and I'll show you. So now each one, these are double-sided foam adhesives. So I'm going to pop all of the middles out and then peel the top off and stick that one over, peel the bottom, and then I can just place it in each corner, and we'll have those 3D corners. Okay, so that is the corners stuck down. I think they look really nice with the foam behind them. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to have a sentiment on the front. It's just going to be plain. I'm going to have lots of love inside. I think this would make a nice just because card. Could also make a nice sympathy card as well. What I am going to do is add ribbon around the circle. Now I should have done this before I'd stuck it down because it'd just be easier to weave, but with some tweezers it'll still be fine. You could also weave it around the design here. Now I think I want to have the bow at the bottom, so it's almost like around the stem of the poppy. So I'm going to start off here. I'm going to go in the big sections. You could go in the little circles there. You know, look at some of the decorative frames that you've got around your dies and see if you're able to weave through some ribbon. This is a thin ribbon. You could put string through as well, or if you've got a thicker design, then yeah, add a thicker ribbon. But you can see it's still easy to do. It won't take long at all, as long as you've got some tweezers just to be able to pull it through. But if you keep it flat, you get quite a nice look there. So I'm just going to continue this until I come back out with that one there. But I'm just going to tie this off now. Make sure it's still, I don't want it really tight that it pulls. I want it to lay flat. You could just cut it and stick the ends, like hide them, and then make the bow separate and stick it over the top. You could add a bigger bow if you wanted to. Actually, I like that idea. I say this a lot and then I end up doing it, but maybe a bigger bow there, just so you see it a little bit more, because I love the thin ribbon. I'm just going to see if I've got any bigger bows. So I've got this tiny bit of scrap ribbon with this lovely design, and I think that's going to look really nice and just complement the flower, having the white running through it. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to, yeah, cut off the ends, and I'm going to use some hot glue, and that hot glue will keep the ends together of that ribbon. Now once I add this to the card blanks, I think I'm going to pop this on a black card blank. This frame's really going to pop as well. So once they're all added onto, yeah, I'll probably do a colourful card blank for all of them. That will make quite a difference. There we go, that's nice and secure. So that's the first, we'll call it a topper at the moment, because like I said, it's not on the card blank, and then that will go inside eventually. But isn't that pretty? Really, really effective. Just layering up different shapes and then adding that, you know, texture with the ribbon. You've got the 3D design with the flower. Yeah, really pretty. Oh, before I move on, these are the colours that I used for the poppy there. So 2, 4 and 11 for the red, and then 33, 37, 44 for the yellow. I also use this very dark 31 just for the centre, and then for the stem, the green grass, which is number 47. So for number 2, I've already built it all up the same way as the first one, because that's kind of the layout they all have. However, with this one, I've not added the, I'll show you actually, this one here, you get the plain oval to go on top of this one, but I wanted a bigger space to be able to stamp this little image here, and I've just used, there's all these tiny little stamp sets here. They're actually quite handy. I haven't really used them, but I like the little floral one there, so I've just used, these are all part of the rotating platform collection. So there's some nice tutorials on how to use these, but I love the heart one. I think I'll probably use that one a bit more. So it's the floral circle set. What I've done is I've stamped just a few of the leaves and the flower there, and then I've stamped it all again and cut it out. And again, I'm going to pop that up on some foam and then just make more of a 3D cluster. And then the sending hug sentiment that comes in the set, so any sentiments you got, I always love to layer mine up. So there's 3 of those stuck together. So although it's a really delicate design, just by making it a bit more dimensional, I just find them a bit more easier to use. Of course, again, like I said, if you don't want any dimension, just stick them directly down onto the card, and that's what I'm going to do with the lovely lots inside that one. So that's going to go there, and then I'm going to build up the flowers there. But I think I want to maybe add in some silver. And I'm thinking I might go over these with silver and then add some little sprigs in silver as well. So I'm going to get the flower all stuck down. Okay, so there is the topper all finished. I am going to add some, maybe some glaze or some little dots, maybe some Nouveau dots or something, but I'm going to do that once I've stuck it to the card blank. I think this one's probably going to go on a pink card blank, so you'll really see all this border detail. but I've just used one of my little dies there just to create those little sprigs. All of that floral design. So you've got some of the stamped leaves actually on here, and then the 3D leaves. So it just gives a really nice, quite full look. And then the dimension on the sentiment there, so that pops a bit more. Perfect again for a sympathy card. You can also have these landscape, obviously change your orientation, offset the shapes, just layer them up however you want. So on to number 3. So I've got another set here with a cool design. So I've got the glue there drying on my hand. Don't do that if you've got sensitive skin. It's just when I'm working with those delicate sentiments. You probably saw in the video, I just kind of dab it on my hand. Use like some plastic sheet or your glass mat or something. This is the A2. This is an Art Deco one. So you can see how it builds up that design. I love this one. I think the frame's really cool. I might add some little gemstones in the corner there. But again, I've just popped everything up on foam. And I'm just going to layer it up the same way. So this is just a smaller version of that one, of that 5x7 one really. So I'm going to place this one here. And then, oh, just realised I wanted to add the square, because I didn't push that down too much. You can reposition these pads. When you really push them down, they will stick and then end up ripping, but I'm going to stick this one down. And then that one, and then with this one I've already popped it up on foam, layered it up a little bit like the decoupage effect that I've done before, and then I want to stick this one towards the top. Have it that way. And then I've got the congrats, which again I've just cut a few times, and I'm going to have that one just below it. Now these ones are very delicate, so I'm just going to stick those directly down into each corner. Yeah, so I've stuck that down. I've got these tiny embellishments, which I'm just going to pop in each of those squares. And I think I'm going to pop them in the middle of that detail as well. I'm trying to start using more of these things that I've got, you know, in my stash, like embellishments, ribbons, the Nuvo drops. You know, a couple of years ago I was using all of this all the time, but I think we go through phases and sometimes we just stop using those things. So I'm trying to just get back into adding all those little details in my cards, because I do think they look really nice. It just fits in that little square, so it's not taken away from the design, but it's just adding in a little bit more detail. There you go. It looks really nice and it catches the light. And I think I'm going to add, I've got my sparkle pen, and always just test it first, because sometimes I've had these kind of, you've got to just squeeze the sides, but a lot of the glitter can come out. I don't actually know if I've got a lot left in this one. And then I'm just going to brush it over the congrats. And once it dries, it just leaves, this is the clear one, so once it dries, it just leaves the glitter. But I think I'm at the end. There we go. Now you get that lovely glittery topper. So again, it's just remembering to use all these little bits, because it's, you know, it was really plain to start with, but once you start finishing off with all these details, it just changes the card. I'm wondering whether to add a little embellishment in the middle of the flower, but I think I'll leave it. So again, once that's stuck to the card base, you'll really see this detail. So I think I'll probably add it to I'm thinking I might add that one to acetate, which I think would look really nice. So that's topper number 3. Okay, and the last card is the A6 diamond set. I think this one's my favourite. I would have liked this one in 5x7 actually, because that's the size cards that I like to make. I just love the detail. It's almost like a little sunshine around the edge there, so I think it looks really nice. So I've already stuck it down onto this navy card blank. And then using the flowers again, I think, yeah, they're all from this one, this floral circle. And I'm just going to create, this one's got the sentiment, how are you? So that's going to go in the middle there. My hands, I'm covered in glue. And then I was going to create a little like cluster of the 3. I've coloured them in blue. So the deeper navy picks up the border there. And then I've got the leaves here, which I was going to have kind of just poking out, along with some of the silver sprigs as well, just so we've got a different orientation. I think that looks quite sweet. So I'm going to get that all stuck down. Okay, so here are the finished cards. I really like these. I've really enjoyed doing this. So I'll just go back through them again. So number one, this really clean and simple one. I've stuck it onto a red card blank. And I just, yeah, think it looks really nice. You could have any flower in the middle. Like I said, any shape layered up. If you've got these, if you've got any kind of decorative edge dies, I think you can create some very pretty cards. And then this one with the silver. And again, all the dimensions optional, you can just stick them all down. This one I've added on to acetate. And I've just cut the rectangles there so you've got your space to write your message. I like the way the acetate catches the light there when it's displayed. You've got the glitter. And this one here, different orientation and that cluster. So I think, you know, if you sometimes don't know what to do, just stick with plain white cards and just keep that as your kind of canvas and then build up your colour and your detail. I think they look very, very pretty. So let me know in the comments which one's your favourite. I always like to ask that when I make multiple cards. If you are interested in this product, I'll have it linked individually in the description box below. But like I said, look at what's in your stash. And yeah, you might be surprised what you can create. I will add this into my like easy card making playlist. That'll be popping up here. And I'll be back again very soon. Take care and I'll see you then. Bye.